This is a workshop meeting agenda of the governing body of the Borough of Bloomingdale, Tuesday, February 4th, 2025 at 7 p.m. We'll call the meeting to order by the salute to the flag. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call, please.
Mayor D'Amato.
Here.
Councilman Brunkhurst. Councilman Catalano.
Here.
Councilman Graziano.
Here.
Councilwoman Hudson is excused. Councilwoman Schubert. Here. Councilman Yazdi.
Here. We also have the municipal clerk, Brianna Smith, business administrator, Michael Sondermeyer, and borough attorney, Dawn Sullivan. This meeting is called to pursuant to the provisions of the open public meeting laws. Adequate notice of this meeting was advertised in the Herald News on January 9, 2025. Copies were provided to the local news media and posted continuously in the municipal building. A copy of this notice is available to the public and on file in the office of the municipal clerk. As per state fire code, I'm required to acknowledge that there are two emergency exits in this council chambers. The main entrance which you enter through and a secondary exit to the left of where I am seated. If there is an emergency, walk orderly to the exit through the door, down the stairs, and out the building. If you have any questions, please raise your hand.
Man, it's so loud. The heater.
Is that better? Is this on? Don't sound like the mic's on. Don't sound like the mic's on. Is it working?
No, none of them are working.
All right, I'm gonna have to talk a little louder because our microphones are not working. I can do that. Good? Here's what it is. Working. Okay. Okay, we do not have any non-agenda items this evening. We are removing item B under new business, which was adoption of the white collar union contract. That will be removed from the agenda tonight. Do I have a motion to open up early public comment?
So moved.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Anyone wishing to speak to the agenda items, please come up. Seeing no one, a motion to close non-agenda.
So moved.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Can you hear me now? We're good? Report of committees. Evie?
Thank you, Mayor. For the, for the first aid squad, the Tri-Borough, we attended on Saturday at the barnyard, their installation. They had a dinner and where they honored and acknowledged 7 new members that they had. They also swore in all the officers, President Justin Hill. They also awarded their top 3, they announced top 3 calls and handed certificates to several members. They also had a lot of milestones for many of the members, from 5 years to Diane Bolin, which was 40 years of service, and other outstanding awards. They also had, for January, they had 168 calls. The Tri-Borough had 131 calls. They covered 113. They missed 18 calls, covered 86% of all the calls handled. Butler took 59. Bloomingdale had 57. Kinnelon had 41. They had 11 mutual aid calls to Pompton Lakes. Riverdale, West Milford, Montville, Pinebrook, and Wayne. They had an instructional meeting with, about patients with special needs. This February 11th, they have a Wendy's fundraiser. If you go to Wendy's, they give a portion to the Triborough First Aid. And they also have a craft fair in St. Anthony's. That's for Triborough. The library has they have a porch leaner fundraiser for $55 per person. It's a really large porch leaner. That they've done this one before. It's very popular. It's at the firehouse. You could bring your own. It's a paint and sip. You could bring your own snacks and drinks, and come out with a very beautiful piece of art. Also, to check online, as always, for their all their special clubs, crafts, and book clubs, and for the children's library, the reading, they're to go there in person. They're always looking for that. And then I had my first meeting of the Rose Fund, where they spoke about a lot of different projects around the town that they are looking to continue to improve to make the town safer and better for all. And as far as public events, the next February 28th is the Ramadan Crescent lighting in front of Borough Hall at 6:30. Free for anybody to attend. April 3rd is the Unity Through Community at Walter T. Bergen. And of course, all of this is online. April 5th is the trout fishing contest, which is a Saturday. And that's it.
Okay. John?
Okay. So first, Councilwoman Hudson asked me to read her updates. She couldn't be here today, but she said the dog and cat licenses are due now. They're not received by March 1st. There's an additional $10 charge. It's actually February 25th for the Ramadan Crescent lighting. It was updated a couple of weeks ago, so that's now a Tuesday. Yeah, right, February 25th, 6:30. We usually do it right outside here in front of Borough Hall. It's a fun event. Borough offices are closed. No DPW pickup for President's Day on February 17th. And there is also one remaining rabies clinic on March 1st from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. at the Riverdale DPW garage that's on Dalton Drive. From a Board of Health standpoint, she said that there is an open position for an alternate for the Board of Health. So should you or anyone you know have interest, they can reach out to Brianna Smith, our Borough Clerk. She also mentioned new business from the Board of Health. At last night's meeting, sounds like they passed a resolution to amend the Code of Ordinance for massage, bodywork, and somatic therapy. So this ordinance will help in providing our residents and anyone in the area with safe, lawful establishments that do not put them at risk for public health threats. So should anyone have any questions or concerns, you can contact Councilwoman Hudson or the President of the Board of Health, Marco Alejandro. And then last from the Board of Health, the Passaic County Health Department is offering free eye and hearing screenings and children's wellness clinics. State-required vaccinations and physical exams are offered too for those who are uninsured. You can call 973-881-4396. And a reminder that it is from the tax department that taxes are due by February 10th. Just one update from my side. So you might have seen new welcome signs going around the borough. So this has been an effort that started really last year in partnership with the code enforcement official, Mark Redfield, along with the Economic Development Commission too. We've had a number of businesses in town that have donated those signs essentially. So you'll see their names right underneath it. I think it was due. It's been about maybe 20 years or so since we had the last signs. And I really want to thank Mark as well as the EDC for getting this done. If we only have one more to go, it's Provident Bank. They just agreed to it. So we should be putting that up pretty soon.
And these are all the entrances coming into town, whether it be Wanacue, Riverdale, I believe one in Butler, and coming from, I'll say Butler again, up here by Turnpike. So that's the welcome signs we're talking about.
Correct.
Right? They're all been redone. And Mark put a lot of work into that. Right?
Nothing to do.
Dave?
We had the Board of Ed meeting last week, and just reminded everyone, the referendum vote is coming up on March the 11th, from 2 to 8 at the regular polling place.
And then the people can register with the I will.
That's right, they have an initiative on the BPSNJ website, where you can sign up for the I Will Vote campaign, where you will get updates from the board regarding the referendum.
Comment?
Nothing to report.
Mike?
Nothing tonight, Mayor.
Bree?
Nothing to report, thank you.
Nothing this evening, Mayor.
Okay. For me, we spoke about it at our last meeting about the referendum. I just want to go over the process where the borough plays a part in this. And I am total support of the referendum with closing the Donald School and putting on an addition. The way it works is obviously if the referendum passes, and then there's a bunch of steps after that. If it doesn't pass, then we're back to square one. Once it goes through, the school has to go out to bid, and I think they have to put their construction plans together, and those plans will go out to whoever wants to bid the contract to build the school. That will take, I would say, imagine probably 6 months or so, right? A little bit past that from what they pretty much have told us. Once the bid process goes out to whatever contract's going to bid it, they have to open up those bids and accept those bids. So that's a process. Once that bid is accepted, then the process starts to the build. However long the build takes, the Donald School remains open because the kids still need to go to school until that process is done. Once the addition is completed and the children are moved to the new addition at the Bergen School, then the Board of Education has to apply to the Department of Education to decommission the Donald School. That can take 6 months to a year for them to approve that, from what we're told. Okay? Once that is complete and the Department of Education approves that, then they can put the building up for sale. But before they put the building up and how they want to sell the school, now this is where we play our part. Because I've seen things written about high-density apartments and all this stuff. We have to, as a borough, refer this to the Ordinance Review Committee to apply an ordinance on what that area can be zoned. You can't develop a zone just for that one piece of property, okay? That's called spot zoning. That's not allowed. That's not legal, okay? So what happens is an ordinance review, they sit down and they go through it, and they make a recommendation to this body on what they think that could be zoned as. Right now, it is zoned public, which it can only be a public facility. If it gets changed, it could become a part of our business district, which is our Main Street, which is pretty much from the Glenwild split down to the Riverdale border. And if it becomes part of our business district, it has to follow the permitted uses within that district. All right, so, which means heights of building, density, what can be parking, and all that stuff there. It can't be a 20-story apartment building, as it's been, I've heard, through the Facebook chat stuff that goes on. All right, so at the end of the day, once the Ordinance Review Committee reviews it and they want to make it whatever zone that falls in, and it kind of makes almost a little bit of sense to put it to our business district because it borders it. It also could be, correct me with the RM?
RM?
You want to?
Senior living?
Yeah, which is residential senior housing. It could be zoned for that. But we're a long ways for getting to that part. But under the zoning rules, it goes to the Ordinance Review Committee. They make a recommendation to this council. The council reads it and they approve it, or they send it back because they want to make changes. Once it's approved here at the council level, it goes from here, it goes to our planning board for a 45-day review. They have 45 days to review it. and either approve it or make recommendations to the council on whether they agree, disagree, change this or change that. Then it comes back to the council for final approval. But any zoning ordinance has permitted uses, non-permitted uses. And anybody can go on our website and pull the
Code.
the ordinance for the business district, and you can read it, and it shows your permitted uses, what's allowed, what's not allowed. So there's a lot of control with that. So that's how the process works, but it'll take time, a lot of time to get to that point. And I think maybe some of these have questions about, that might be why you're here or not, but that's okay, you can come up and ask what you want. But that is, the process, and it's something that doesn't happen overnight. It's a long yearly process, because there's a lot of time that you have to go between the submitting it to the planning board, 45 days for approval, if it's within their meetings, they make their recommendations, and it comes back to the council. Then if we want to make our changes, we have to do that on our recommendations, so it's a long, drawn-out process. But the borough's time in this is, we don't get involved until we know the referendum is passed, it gets decommissioned, and then our part gets played. Right now, we have no say, other than we support, and I do support the closing of the Donald School. I've been saying that for a long time. And we've had, I put my fire department hat on, we have had several alarms there in the past couple of weeks going on. There was one there today, which was a blower motor seized up, and it filled the gym up with it was light smoke, but you can smell that, we see when rubber's burning, you can smell that. It was a heavy smell in the gym. The kids were evacuated. They were back in their classrooms probably in 20 minutes. And we actually put them in one side of the school because it was cold out, so we kept them on one side while the other side was being vented out. But that's just some things that are going on up there.
Is it worth noting there, I think it's a good example if someone's looking for kind of the history of it, like what occurred on Star Lake, and our planning board being involved with the use variance request where we rezoned the property and went through this entire process right on Star Lake Road, and really ultimately the decision-making about a use on any given property is made by the planning board. And there's scenarios that exist where people can apply for use variances, but they're reviewed heavily by a separate board, not even just the council. So,
there's a lot of eyes on
members of the public. So there's always going to be a lot of items and multiple layers. And a good example of it that would be similar in light of changing the zone and then driving it would be what's occurred on the Star Lake in the past.
And when we accept, and you'll hear it tonight, when we accept an ordinance or we make changes, there's always public comment that's allowed to be said. There's always a public hearing. So when this all happens, it'll be advertised as a public hearing, like we normally do within our meeting. So anybody can come, give their opinion, ask questions. It's open up to public. It is, we're all residents here, and we all should be able to ask questions and get answers. Sometimes you like the answers, sometimes you don't, but it's the process that we have to go through. But in my eyes, we're a long way from that on our part. March 11th is the voting of the referendum, and then we'll see what happens from there. Like I said, if it's not voted through, the school is over 100 years old. It's outworn its welcome. There's a lot of work that needs to be done to bring it up to today's codes, and according to the Board of Ed, it's about $21 million to refurbish that school. So do you want a new school for a few more million, or do you want to refurbish what you have and you're back to square one? But, all right, so if anybody has any questions about that, if you want to come up and ask, once we get to open public there, you're more than welcome. I'll answer the best I can, or of anything that's going on. All right? Okay. All right, item 9, resolution 2025 2.1 consent agenda. Do I have a motion to approve the consent agenda?
So moved. Second.
Any questions? Roll call, please.
Trunkhurst,
Yes.
Catalano,
Yes.
Graziano,
Yes.
Hudson, I'm sorry, Schubert,
Yes.
Yazdi,
Yes.
Pending business, item number 10, second final reading and public hearing, ordinance number 1-2025, amendment chapter 5, animal control. Public notice statement, please.
Yes, Mr. Mayor, this ordinance was posted in the municipal building, published in the Herald News, and copies were made available to the public so that a motion may be made that it be read by title.
Do you have a motion to read by title? Second. All in favor?
An ordinance of the Borough of Bloomingdale in the County of Passaic, State of New Jersey, amending Chapter 5, Animal Control, Section 5-9, requiring or damaging property, nuisances running at large of the Code of the Borough of Bloomingdale.
Do you have a motion of the public hearing? Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone wishing to speak, please come up. Seeing no one, the motion to close. All in favor? Okay, this is just a simple, we're just making an amendment to our animal control as recommendation from our animal control officer, for what we read by title. This is just a simple, amendment. Motion for adoption. Roll call.
Catalano,
Yes.
Graziano,
Yes.
Schubert,
Yes.
Yazdi,
Yes.
Brunker,
Item B, second final reading public hearing, ordinance number 3-2025, acquisition of a portion of 5073/71. Public notice statement, please.
Yes, Mr. Mayor, this ordinance was posted in the municipal building, published in the Herald News, and copies were made available to the public so that a motion may be made that it be read by title.
Do I have a motion to read by title? All in favor?
Aye.
An ordinance of the Borough of Bloomingdale in the County of Passaic, State of New Jersey, authorizing the acquisition of a portion of Block 5073, Lot 71 from M&T at Union Ave, Bloomingdale, LLC.
Motion to open up public hearing. All in favor? Anyone wishing to speak, please come up. Seeing no one, a motion to close. All in favor? Okay, before we go to adoption, there's this piece of land that is in front of the healthcare center, very small, smaller than this room, which is part of the lot across the street that is owned by M&T, and they asked us, we want that piece of property, they're gonna donate it to us. At first we said, well, what are we gonna do with that? It was just a small piece of property. But, talking to the chief, there's a lot of times that we put a car down there doing, speed control, and it's right around the bend, kind of by the chiropractor's office there, down there. So he said it would be a good place that we can keep a car, but it'd be borough property. So we said, okay, we'll take the property. So that's how this came about. We have a motion for adoption.
So moved.
Roll call, please.
Graziano,
Yes.
Schubert,
Yes.
Yazdi,
Yes.
Brunker,
Yes.
Catalano,
Yes.
You good? Okay, item C, second and final reading, public hearing, ordinance number 4-2025, authorizing the sale of a portion of Holster Court. Public notice statement, please.
Mr. Mayor, this ordinance was posted in the municipal building, published in the Herald News, copies were made available to the public so that a motion may be made that it be read by title.
Do I have a motion to read by title? All in favor?
Aye.
An ordinance of the Borough of Bloomingdale, County of Passaic, State of New Jersey, authorizing the sale of a portion of the property known as Holster Court in Bloomingdale, New Jersey.
Have a motion about public hearing. All in favor? Aye. No motion to come up? Seeing no one, a motion to close. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, just before we go to adoption, this is simply, Holster Court is between Knowles Road and Rafkin Road, the Rafkin Road side that goes down to Union Ave. If you come up Knowles off of Reeves and make a right on Rafkin, behind those houses, there's approximately 5 acres of property back there that is borough owned. The people that live on the corner of Knowles and Rafkin, I call it the Freck House, it's a concrete house up there, it's when I grew up in that area. They ask if they can buy a portion of the land because they've been maintaining it and they want to expand their driveway. So we said, okay. So they paid for all the stuff that needs to be done through there, the surveying and all the fees that need to go there, which we said we would give them, how much? That's about 15 to maybe 30 feet of property.
Not even.
All right, not even.
Yeah.
It's like, it's a real sliver. And like I said, they've been maintaining it, but we also wanted to keep an access point to get to our property that's behind there. That is, it's called Holster Court because the family Holster that lived on Knowles Road, they bought the property and it's been Holster Court ever since. So that's all we're doing is giving those people that piece of property. We have a motion for adoption.
So moved.
Roll call. Roll call, please.
Schubert,
Yes.
Yazdi,
Yes.
Runkert, Catalano,
Yes.
Graziano,
Yes.
Okay, new business. Adoption of resolution number 2025, 2.8, True Green Landscape and Fertilization Services. This is just our contractor who takes care of all the schools and maintaining the lawns, the fertilizing and the geese, over in the parks to keep the geese out of there. So, do I have a motion on this?
So moved.
Roll call, please.
Yazdi,
Yes.
Runkert, Catalano,
Yes.
Graziano,
Yes.
Schubert,
Yes.
Like I said, we removed item B, so we're gonna go right to C. Introduction of ordinance number 5-2025, amending chapter 2 recreation fees for hiking group, club, and geocaching, whatever that means. Do you have a motion to read by title?
So moved.
Thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
You gotta read it by title.
Oh, you go.
An ordinance of the Borough of Bloomingdale, the County of Passaic, State of New Jersey, amending Chapter 2, Administration, Section 2-64.11, Fees for Recreation Programs of the Code of the Borough of Bloomingdale. This ordinance will be scheduled for second final reading and adoption on February 18th.
Just so you guys know, when we, do an ordinance, there has to be an introduction, it just gets read by title. And then we open up the public hearing at our next meeting or the date it's allowed to be voted on. So then we bring out what it's really about, and talk about it. This is just a reading of the introduction by itself to accept the reading. All right. Do I have a motion to open late public comment?
So moved.
All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone wishing to speak, please come up. They cut out something. Okay. Motion to close.
So moved.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, we do not have anything in executive session tonight. Our next meeting is February 18th, which is our regular scheduled meeting at 7 o'clock. Do I have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Please. Second, Dave, all in favor?
Aye.
Thank you all for coming out.
Good night.